and I say, oh, position, let's try 8 and see, that should put it in the middle. Okay, let's try 10. Oh, that was not enough. Let's try 11, 11 and a half. And I just like do it little by little, and it's really not convenient.
Sweet. Okay.
Yo, I don't mean to interrupt, but like you can find the location inside the tester. Like 13, you see like where your DCL screen is showing?
Yep.
Right, like top right of the parcel. Like you know the map?
Next to the mini map, yeah.
Yeah, click on that. Yeah, there you go. Right there. Those are the coordinates of where you are.
Yeah.
So if you move around, it'll be exactly there. So you can it'll save you so much like headache trying to
Instead of guessing, yeah. Sweet.
man.
Thank
Hello.
you.
Word.
Thank you, Greensifer.
Oh yeah, bro, no problem.
Okay, so now I'm going to run scene again and just see what happens. And while that's loading, cheers.
All right. Sinful. I'm gonna try starting the stream again, but this.
I have it going right now. Actually, do you want me to shut it?
No. I mean, I didn't know if you're are you pulling it from Discord?
Yeah, I got Sinful Media in here, and they're the ones sharing your screen.
Okay.
So no pot smoking. 13 corporate is in the house.
Yeah, I can see his little face in the bottom. I might add mine here in a second.
We don't do drugs around here. I don't know what those are.
I'm gonna go take Bella out, and then I'll expose my face.
Okay.
Specimen, you're holding it for a friend. Holding it to your mouth for a friend.
As my brother said, it's a plant, right? You know, it's a fucking weed, and yeah. So how do you make a plant illegal? That's whatever. That's all I'll say.
You want to know some? You want to hear some conspiracy theory shit?
Sure.
Fucking, dandelions have like natural amounts of anti-inflammatory or like like painkiller kind of thing. It's
stuff.
like Tylenol kind of thing.
Yeah.
Well, they Roundup and shit targets dandelions and stuff to make sure that you don't have the natural remedies already in your yard.
Ooh. Okay. All right. So I moved my tree after I crashed a little bit. There's my HUD, okay? And I missed the last bit that Greensifer said. So am I streaming?
Yeah.
I'm so confused. I put the giving tree and I changed it, but it's loading the cauldron still. So I'm gonna close this out real quick.
Scott, if I don't see the tree, I do see the HUD, and that's awesome.
Yes.
But I don't see the tree, and I did, I've got like from my line 5 to 14, I've got the code. It says add giving tree, yada, yada, yada.
Okay.
But I don't know, do I have to refresh my scene?
You may need to run your scene again. However, before you do that, let's first look at the code and make sure that there are no squiggly.
There's a squiggly line.
Okay.
Okay.
Is it? Go ahead.
It's at the bottom. HUD dot attached to entity. Oh, it's not always entity. Okay, never mind.
Okay, good. I mean, you found the deal.
Yeah, I'm not like a teacher, so I don't know how to spell entity.
Okay, so Doc, the only thing that's different from what you posted and what I've got up here is the attaching the HUD to the entity.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay.
I don't know why that folder opened. This
Boom.
folder needs to open. There we go.
Looked like it hot loaded. So there it is. Okay, now, how do I select the tree? Did Greensifer tell us that?
So Greensifer's tip was for manually selecting without this tool.
Oh.
Yeah,
How do you
for
do it?
identifying your position without guessing like I like to do.
Okay, so just walk to the position. And then what?
So for this, I think, wait, am I watching your screen? Yeah, I should be.
I don't know. Are
You're
you?
probably watching mine.
No, I'm watching Specimen's screen, actually. I don't see your screen, Scott.
So
Oh.
here's a neat tip for those that well, actually, yeah, you're not streaming in Discord.
Okay, thank you. Now am I?
But you can actually watch multiple streams at the same time in Discord, and you can also where is it? There is a way.
How do I do that? Multiple screens.
Yeah. So if you go to the grid view in Discord, like if you click on productivity itself, like the voice channel in Discord, you can go up to the top, hit grid view. You can also hit the three little dots, and you can choose not to view non-video participants so you can see larger screens. And I can actually turn off my camera to make it to where it's just yours and mine.
Sweet.
Okay. All right. Cool.
So you
All right,
can do
so
that, and you can see both of them just in case. That's what I prefer to do, is to view everybody's basically. Okay, I've got my
Okay,
my
yeah, so
grid
it's
tree here.
attached. You should be able to click the little yeah, that, and then if you click, yeah, start moving it around. Click X and Y, and
Nope.
oh, what was that?
I hit the actual X just to
Oh,
see
there you go.
if
There we go.
the
Hey, it
button-
works! Wow. Okay, and below that, there's like carrots left and right. Yeah, that should just switch between your entities. Like now that it's connected, is it working for you?
Oh,
No
let's
way!
fucking go. Okay,
Wow.
maybe
Okay.
that's all I had to do was to change to the entity or something.
Yeah,
okay.
I think it needs to be connected to one first,
Yeah,
and then
maybe,
you'll be
yeah.
able to flip through them.
That's what's up. Dude, fucking amazing. Well done.
So I don't know how, but it looks like I've got the tree. So if I want to move it, yeah, see, there we go.
Dax is asking if there's hotkeys for moving them. Great question.
I do not know.
What's up, Dex? I just tried, like, because I saw X, I was like, well, I'll just hit the X and it just goes to the explore tab. But I have no fucking clue. Yeah,
I'm gonna make my tree grow. There
I
we
guess
go.
that's save. Maybe looks like a little floppy disk.
And then I believe the section above, which again I've only used this a couple times, but like the scaffolding should move. I think you have to click scaffold first, maybe.
Yeah, so this is the scaffolding right here. I'm
Yeah.
gonna walk over to it.
Yep. Oh shit.
Okay. So if I want to see the top of the tree, oh, whoops, wrong thing. There we go.
Oh,
Here.
what the fuck,
So
dude?
sick.
And then I'm gonna cruise in a little bit. I'm gonna pick some cherries off the top of the tree here. So this is just a way to, affect your camera so you can see
Oh
certain
shit.
things.
I see it. I found
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay. I see what the fuck's going on here.
Okay.
That's amazing. Okay. Well, that's neat.
So what I was trying to get at earlier where it says entity label, there's a way, at least when it was parented, where there was a parent child, I could cycle through. Was this it? No, that's rotation, scale. So yeah, so in the bottom control panel, if you click the P, that's position, uh, it'll go to R for rotate, and then S for scale. So that's how you can scale it. So this whole thing why we try to do this was so that Knessa, you can move things inside the scene, inside DCL-Edit, like you could in Builder, and get very precise control. And when you click save, like, oh crap, I don't want to do that. I want to, let's say I want to rotate it in Y. Okay. And then I click save. Now it should update over here in my code.
Dax, I'm looking through the README and I don't see any mention of any hotkeys, other than being able to toggle between position, rotation, and scale. That's it.
Oh, what's that hotkey?
P, R, and S looks like.
Okay, so let's try that. R, S, nope.
You might have to be actually on an entity,
Okay.
not on the scaffolding part. I don't know.
Okay. Well, let's get off the scaffolding. And then let's try. No. Huh. Scale.
Maybe. Hang on. So
Position.
toggle between different. So click the left, right icons to select the name currently displayed. Toggle between position, rotation, and scale. Then toggle between different levels. But what is?
It says save
Use
their
enable
PRS, that's position, rotation, and scale, to the browser console for
the
you to easily
P.
copy and paste into your code.
That makes sense. So the P rotation. Okay, yeah. So you toggle right here on the actual P. So you're automatically on position, and then you can toggle to it, but there is no hotkey for it.
Okay. Maybe it's these arrows that go up and down the parent-child. Anyway, okay. So what I've noticed is I've moved
Okay,
my
and
tree
then
around.
there's you can either do 90 degree, 15 degree, 5, or 1 degree, and use the up down arrows to change it.
Here's an issue with the HUD though, right? If I click save, and as Doc said, it saves to the browser, but since I'm not in the browser, I'm inside Visual
That's
Studio
interesting.
Code. Where do I get my values to come over here to my code?
Is it debug console next to output, that bottom frame?
Oh, maybe.
Maybe.
Compiler. No. Doesn't look like it. Oh, maybe debug console. Please start a debug session to evaluate expressions, problems, output.
Okay, so yeah, stay on that tab and then run the scene again.
So stay on debug console?
Yeah.
Okay, and then run the scene again. Okay.
Unless it comes up in terminal, which I don't think it.
No,
no.
terminal is it's your CLI, it's your command prompt. That's what the terminal is.
Cool.
So that's
Yeah,
where I could
this-
run npm install whatever code that you were talking about.
It says go to view developer JavaScript console, which I believe is the same as pressing F12 in a browser, but you're right. I don't know how to do it in here.
Once you're done, click the save icon to print out the transform values of each of the entities handled by the builder HUD to console. To see these values, open up the browser console. In Google Chrome, go to what the fuck?
Yeah, so here. This
yeah,
was
there. when you're doing it that way.
View. What'd you say? View browser
View
console.
developer.
JavaScript console.
Yep.
Okay. I don't know where I even get that.
Console.
I want to
should
say
really-
F12 is the same thing.
Okay. Well, let's try F12.
Oh no.
Yeah, there we go. Console. So yeah, this is where I would copy it from. In here.
Dex says, I think the hotkey for console is usually Control-Shift-I or Command-Shift-I on Mac. Thanks, Dex.
Okay. So that's what it is in Chrome, right? But we still don't know how we get, if we save this, we don't know how we get the variables for our entity that we're moving around. You know, like,
Why I prefer to do all the work in Blender beforehand.
well,
Yeah.
Make my rotation, save my GLB.
Okay. Right. But then there's going to need to be some instances where you need to fine tune your two separate models, like with Doc's case for the New Year's, and he needed to create some parent-children dependencies. You do that in the code. You can't do that in Blender. You certainly can, but you can't control those separate entities if it's all in one GLB. You have to bring them in as two separate GLBs, arrange them in a parent-child relationship in the code, and then you need to be able to, position them properly inside the scene. And this is how you do that. That's why I'm going through this whole exercise. But if we can't get the coordinates,
So for example, just you, and this is just because there's a tree in front of me. You're saying you wanted to put the tree there, but you had to get the apples exactly where you wanted them on the tree.
yeah, yes.
And so I don't know, without specifics, being able to know exactly how to solve that in Blender yet, because I don't know the specific instance that we're talking about.
Okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go to I'm going to go away from FAFO. How do I go up?
Up a directory.
Yes, thank you, Doc. How do I go up a directory here?
You go to File, Open Folder, Open Directory, Open Folder.
Oh, not File. File, Open Folder. Okay. Because what I want to do is I want to go into this CBD screen. Oh, I think I need CBD screen. Which one is more current? This one, CBD screen. Okay, so select folder. I'm gonna go in here because I keep referring to this as an example, and I'm just going to show it to you. So,
okay.
Oh, that's right. My scene JSON file is here, and then my game.ts file is here. Okay.
Blow yours up. Let's see.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run scene, and I'll zip this up, and I'll put it in the chatty chat so you guys can all mess around with this.
Fuck yeah.
Okay, so I clicked run scene.
Yep.
Nothing's happening, but this is what I want to show you. So I imported the HUD, and then there's something called move transform component. All that is it's a very specific library that helps me do special things, like in England they call them fairings, but in the US they call them ease-ins and ease-outs. So if you're going to do animation, you don't want to lock from one position to the next position to the next position. You want, when you move, there's an ease in and ease out.
Yes. No, I'm a little familiar with the animation.
Okay. So that's
Adobe components.
That's what this is. Okay.
Yeah.
So those are the two things that I've added. And then I've got these little functions that tell the screen to move up and move down. Now you can see that I'm using, see this move transform component when I highlight it here,
Yep.
it shows here. So that's how I move the screen up and down. So
Okay.
here, Kanessa, here's my comment. It says create the parent and child dependencies. So that's what I do with this bit of code. Here I'm defining the screen. Okay. Here's where I have the link from Vimeo that plays the video on the screen. Okay. So let me whatever. Then you can adjust the screen, brightness, clarity, so on and so forth. But let me go back up here to where I'm creating the entities. Okay, so here it is.
Nice.
Yep.
Looks good.
Right. Of course, the video is not playing. I don't know why the video is not playing.
It might not play in here.
No, it did. I mean, that's how we
Oh,
checked
did
it
it?
before. Yeah. Okay, whatever.
So Scott, the reason your code looks all different is you're jumping into the screen scene.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
And the reason I'm going into the screen scene is because I want to find out how when we select a separate entity. Is this how I do it? Yes, this is how I do it. Okay. So let me make this really big. Hold on.
Make it big.
Yeah. So Kanessa, the reason I'm doing this is because we keep trying to find out how to get the coordinates once we use the HUD. Like, what good is this tool going to be if we're making fine tune adjustments for position, scale, and rotation inside our scene, and I can't get that information back out?
Yeah.
Okay. So let me. Here we go.
So
Bigger.
there it is. And what are you trying to do with it?
Okay. What I'm trying to do is, so if you look here, I made this bigger. There's the frame, there's the base, and then there's the parent. Okay. Now, the base is this part right here. You see what I'm pointing to. The parent is something that I created just to be able to move things independently. So parent is, Doc knows what this is, but you can see the little arrow pointing right there. It's just it's an empty object that's an X, Y, and Z point in space. Okay.
Okay.
So then I'm going to go down a hierarchy. So there's just imagine a little dot right here that is controlling where the base is. And since the screen is also a child of the base, it's controlling where the screen is. So if I move the parent to the right and to the left, see up here it says unsaved changes. Okay.
Yeah.
So there's new coordinate information.
Yep.
Now, if I use the arrow, that's going to go down the hierarchy structure to the base. Now, notice the position of the base is 0, 0, 0.
Yep.
So what I did was I positioned the parent first, and then I can fine tune the base second because that's the child. And then I need to adjust the frame, right? There's the frame.
Okay.
All right. So I move the frame. The position of the frame is also 0, 0, 0. If I need to be able to fine tune the adjustment here where the position is, I click the number 1, so it goes to 1/10th, 1/100th, 1/1000th. So you can go to 1,000th of a meter.
Yep.
Which, what is that, everybody? Is that a centimeter? 1,000th of a meter, centimeter,
That's a
nanometer,
nanometer.
nanometer. Okay.
Yeah.
So you can move
Nanometer.
this a nanometer. And the reason why we did that, I'll go back to 1, is Y is moving up and down, right?
Yes.
So I needed to animate it up and down. So what we
Okay.
did was we changed it to, I think, 100th, and then I moved it up to the topmost Y value. See what that is right there? Now, I could just write this down and then
Yep.
copy it over into my code. But if I could just save it, copy it, paste it, that would be so much easier.
Okay.
So let me go back here to the code, and I'll show you the top and bottom values. Okay. So it's where did I put that? Here we go. Left top 0.5. Oh, sorry. Let top equal 0.5. So that's the Y value. That's the middle value. So see where it says 0.56 over here in the HUD information. So it's a difference of 0.3 of a meter. That's how fine-tuned it is. So in order to be able to get the screen to animate up and down between these two values, I use the HUD to find the upper limit and to find the lower limit. And again, like I said, I could write that down. But if I'm positioning a bunch of stuff, like you said, 13, if I'm positioning apples on a tree, am I going to write down 100 different values for 100 different apples?
No.
Probably not. Probably not. So what my question is how do I get, what good is this tool now, since it's inside DCL-Edit, if I can't easily get the information from here in my scene over to here in my code? That's the question.
Okay.
Okay. I need to take a little break. 13, can you take over for a second? I got to go get some water.
Sure. Fuck yeah. What's up,
Okay.
everybody? Hi. Hello. We're doing great things around here. This episode is brought to you by the number 13 and the letter purple. We are fucking around and finding out. So does anybody have any questions at this moment?
I do 13.
Fuck yeah, let's go.
How do I just grab the fucking tree and pull it around my scene? This is the stupidest goddamn fucking thing I've ever.
Okay, you know how I'm doing it? Through Blender. Okay, that's how I've been fucking solving all these problems. Okay, like I know exactly where the fuck I need to put it because I've already put it there and I've Boolean tooled it all together, so it just sticks together. Yep. And at this point, you know, like personally for my build, the next thing I need to start doing is let me find my notes. Aside from coding the smell of mahogany for sinful, I've got to learn how to basically make NPCs move around a scene. That's what I'm going to start learning next. But honestly, if you have, I mean, obviously this is a tool that Oddjob is trying to I mean, so a carpenter makes all kinds of measurement. You measure twice, cut once kind of thing. He's trying to make sure that everything is exactly properly positioned and being able to just get the ease of a simple, you know, couple of measurements to put things together without having to measure with a piece of paper. You actually have a ruler kind of thing, you know. You don't have to guess where your paper is. You don't have to make a line necessarily on your paper and use that as your measurement. You've just got the measurement, which I can see where this would be a valuable asset.
Yeah, I could see it like auto dance and stuff like that. Like that, I could see this, you know, Blender can't do that. It's just like I'm staring at this fucking tree. It's all highlighted. And in Blender and in the builder, you know, you'd click on it and then you'd have that and you'd be able to move. But this thing, I'm trying not to like say the stupid fucking thing. Like I click on it and then it just rotates the screen, and so I hit escape. It's like yeah, I just don't know how to like select that tree so I can move it around.
If you are in here, okay, where you see your HUD on the right hand side, down at the bottom left,
Mm-hmm.
the left arrow should select. First off, it should select the box. Okay, if you've got the code that Doc put in the chat to where it has the new entity, the box entity that it creates that it attaches the HUD to. Okay, and then you've got the giving tree here. HUD attached to entity giving tree is also a possibility here. So do you have HUD attached to entity giving tree at the very bottom of your code?
Yep. HUD attached to entity giving tree.
All right. So if you're in here, and did the box appear too?
No, the box.
Okay. So how many lines of code do you have?
You don't
15.
actually. Sorry. You don't actually have to have the box in there. You can just add that last bit, and it'll attach. Doc said you just need to attach the you need to attach to a single entity.
Okay. So technically, I don't have to have that box part of the code. So those 4 lines, whatever it is, 5 lines, don't really need them. But if you click the left arrow, it should attach to the object.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and
my
then
code looks. Oh, sorry.
So once you are running your scene, once you see the tree in front of you, you should be able to kind of just hit the left arrow and it should attach to the tree. If you've got it set to P for position, change that to whatever variable you want. So 1, and then just hit the arrow up.
Yeah, if I hit those arrows, it just moves my avatar.
What?
And then I hit the P, and then it turned into an R.
Yeah, the P,
that's
position, rotation, scaling. So
okay.
The entity label is what you're moving. What does it say? See, on 13s, it says entity label, and actually it says nothing. But what does yours say?
It says entity label frame.
Okay.
Oh, I'm looking at yours again. Oops, my bad.
Yeah, no, that's okay.
Mine says entity label.
And nothing else?
Down below position 16, 0, 16.
Okay.
And it's all highlighted because it spawned it like slightly out of bounds on the
Are
scene.
you able to share your screen with us?
No. I can take a picture.
Okay.
Yeah, take
I'll
a picture.
Get it all set up by next week, I promise.
All right.
Okay. So you can't put your middle finger in the picture. No,
yes, you can.
I'm being good.
Scott, I found the output too. I'll show it off in a minute.
Okay, thank you.
The key is it can't be done in Visual Code at this time. It's got to be done in localhost in your browser.
Okay. That's cool. I mean,
Kanessa, that's why you have it set to 16.0.16, but you have not. Okay, here, I'll fix this for you. Give me just 2 seconds. I'm gonna send you something. So what I want you to do is go to your Explorer above the Decentraland thing here. It's the 2 little pieces of paper. Go to your Explorer and go to scene.json. Okay. And then where it says parcels, I'm going to send you something to change real quick. I'm going to send it to you in Twitter.
Is it that she's got just a 1x1 instead of a 2x2? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
So where the parentheses are after the word parcels on line 16, I want you to copy or to highlight from the first bracket to the comma after the second closing bracket, and then just copy that and paste it in there, and it should look like this.
This is we did this last week, and I think we did it the week before in FAFO, Kanessa.
And I think that's what I was fucking around with, and maybe that's why it's like this.
Yeah.
But when I go in, it does. So 13. That I go into the JSON scene. This is what it says 00100111.
Where is your base?
My base is 1, 0.
Okay.
So
Make
Change
that
it to
0,
0, 0.
instead of doing this, one thing that we could do is go back to that game.ts and just change both 16s to an 8, and that'll put it in the middle.
Yeah,
Yep.
that would work too.
Why would an 8 put it in the middle? Why would?
Because it's 16 meters.
Yep.
And
Okay,
if you look at your screenshot, it's actually doing it properly. So if it's putting it 16 by 16, it's putting it at the very corner pixel of the parcel. And look, your tree is exactly in the middle of that pixel.
Okay,
Mhm.
that makes sense.
And the tree's too big, so it won't fit there. Basically, your scene's broken or the GLB is broken.
If you've
'Cause
got a
it's out of
2 by
bounds.
2, that's 32 meters by 32 meters. So
Yep.
the midpoint is 16 meters up in X and 16 meters over in Z.
Mm-hmm.
So if you've got a 1 by 1, half of 16 and 16 is 8 and 8, and that will put it in the middle of a 1 by 1 parcel.
Okay, so well, now the fucking tree is gone.
You might need to run your scene again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also save things.
Yeah, Control S, save it for sure.
So when I do Control S, this is what I was noticing when I was doing this, watching you guys from last week. It just makes my avatar run.
That's
S?
because you can't be in the actual viewer. You have to be. You have to have your cursor in whatever you're saving. So this game.ts, I just saved the code kind of thing.
Okay.
But if you just hit S or whatever and you're just gonna run kind of thing.
Oh,
So
yep. The tree.
That's like if you're in Decentraland and you try to do B8 to do an emote, and then it just types B8 in the chat, or you want to type something in the chat and your character is like doing its cool dance, and all of a sudden it just runs all over the place. Yeah, you just have the different things selected.
Okay, so that all works. Now it's in the middle. It's giving me some nice shade, so I can take care of my rage there. And now I do see a little green arrow that keeps moving. So if I move to go get it, it goes away from me. Should I be trying to click on that green arrow?
No, so down here on the bottom right where it has the little Decentraland logo, pull up the HUD, and then if it's got a green arrow on it, then you should be able to just change its position.
Oh yeah, okay. Sweet. So the reason it didn't have that, is it because it was out of bounds?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, so okay, that's good to know. Like in the builder, if you import something and it's out of bounds, you just grab it and you pull it in, back in your scene, and it's not no big deal. But this one, okay, that's
because you're loading it through SDK, it just breaks your scene.
Okay, wow, that's good to know. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, sweet. I'm gonna go put that tree up in the sky. Thank you.
Hey, Knessa, did you fuck around a bit?
I did. I found out.
Did you found out a little bit? Nice.
Yep. You guys got to see me rage, build a little bit. That never happens at all. It's 5 times an hour.
Okay. Can I just step in here for a second?
Yes.
Okay. So one thing that I'd like to do in a fuck around find out in a FAFO session is to file an issue. And this could be it. Maybe this isn't it. We'll find out. But this is something that as creators we need. So what we could do is we could make a request. We could make a feature request to say that somebody work on the HUD, or somebody work on a tool like the HUD, because I know they have the tool in the standalone DCL editor. I've used it, right? So I think as creators, if they want to make it dead simple, easy for us to move objects around, position them, rotate them, scale them, we're gonna need a way to get those values and have them inserted into the code. But right now with the Visual Studio Code version of DCL-Edit, we can't do that. So what we could do, and I'm just going to walk through this or talk through this real quick. But I think at some point it would be good for us to go through and identify either a bug or a feature request that we want, and then have it be part of the FAFO where we go into GitHub, right? We go into the repository and we create an issue if it's a bug, or we do a feature request, and go through that process. Because if we're going to be in here fucking around, and if we find out something, we need to let everybody else know, because there's no way they're going to be able to read our mind to see, oh, well, the HUD that everybody has been using, which is what we need to use in Visual Studio Code version of DCL-Edit to do fine-tune positioning things, there's no way to transfer those coordinate informations or those coordinates. So yeah, we should probably have something like that. So to go through that process again, and make that request and give them as much information as we can. Because just because it's not working for us doesn't necessarily mean that it doesn't work. So what we need to do is we need to give them as much information as possible so they can reproduce the problem. And what that means is somebody's going to go into Visual Studio Code on a Windows machine and on a Mac or whatever, and they're going to take the file that we give them, which would be the giving tree, whatever thing that we've created, and they're going to go through the steps that we define for them, and they're going to be like, oh yeah, you're right. You click save on the HUD. Where does that information go? Let's add these bits of code and then have that be part of the solution. That is how we propel forward development in Decentraland. That is a key component. So I really want to encourage people to, at some point in the near future, take that step. Does that make sense?
Fuck yeah, it does.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Because what has happened in the past is that we would be in Decentraland and something would break, or we would be in Builder and something would break, and then we'd be just like throwing up our hands and like, well, fuck, it's broken. DCL is buggy. And in an open source project, that's what this is. It is this incremental change and improvement that we all contribute towards, that in an aggregate moves the whole world forward, right? And it's through these little incremental steps. So we need to get into the habit of documenting, of filing an issue or a pull request or a feature request. And it's amazing that if everybody moves like 1 centimeter closer to each other, right? It doesn't take that long before we're all together in the same place moving forward. Thank you.
Moved closer to you.
How's it going?
From your experience, what's the best way to do that in terms of actually getting action? GitHub issues, pinging devs on the Discord. Dax is asking in the chat. From your experience, what's the best way to do that?
Honestly,
in terms of actually getting action,
to file an issue on the GitHub. So I don't know if the Shoes is still watching this on YouTube. Actually, that reminds me, I need to go back and follow up on that, because I filed an issue and like I kind of forgot about it, and then a week later I came back and checked, and somebody the very next day came in and answered, and it's like, yeah, we see this, we did this thing to fix it. Is it fixed on your end? Can you let us know? And I just, whatever. That's bad, Scott. I need to go back and follow up. But seriously, like I filed an issue on GitHub, and like the very next day, or like a day or two later, somebody was on that, because as a developer, they're in code and in the repositories daily, right? That's where they work. So, okay. I want to make sure that Canessa, you're in a good place.
I think so.
Okay.
I mean, I think I got figured out how to put the tree in, and I think I could fix it on my own if it was on. So, yeah.
Okay. Now, I would say the workaround at this point, because you can do whatever version you want. If you want to do it all in Blender and then just move it in here, and then if you need something moved, go back into Blender, move something a little bit, and then re-import the GLB into your scene, fine. If you want to use the HUD, here's another tool at your disposal. The workaround for that is to copy down the coordinates and then just enter it in here. Over in here in the position. So if we want to change the scale, can you guess how we would change the scale here in the code?
Instead of position, you would do, I mean, size,
Scale.
scale.
Yep.
And Scott, if you open up in browser, I can show you how to copy it down. I figured it out, and I do have to jump out for a meeting in just a few minutes.
Okay.
15 minutes actually.
Okay. So I click open in browser.
Yeah, and we were so close. We were really close.
Okay.
So,
go ahead.
Scott, over here on the HUD, I'm looking at this thing. It says scaffold. It's got, it would be nice if you rolled your cursor over these, if it came up with a little, just a quick description of what it was. Because to me, there was one icon that looked like it was to scale it, and it's not. I clicked it, and then something moved behind my avatar.
Okay.
So I think that's the scaffold, but so there's no resize tool or rotation tool in HUD.
That P change.
Yeah.
Click the P.
Okay, got it. Rotation. So okay.
Scott DC.
I see. Nice. Okay, and then rotation and scale. I got it. Okay.
Welcome back.
Okay. All right. So I closed OBS, and I'm just going to send directly from sharing screen. So sorry about this. I was trying to.
But okay, so the scaling tool.
Yeah.
It looks like you get really big increments.
Okay. So when it's on the S, to the right of the number, to right of the S is a number 1.
Yeah.
Click on that 1, and it will change from 1 to 1/10. It'll be 0.1.
Okay. In the HUD?
In the HUD, yes.
It's not letting me do. Okay, there we go.
Okay.
Okay, so you can make pretty finite changes right there.
You can go up to 1/1000th of a meter.
I'm happy again. Thank you. That's good.
Okay, good.
So it's gonna take some learning, but yeah, I'm used to just
yeah,
tiny little changes. Okay.
I know what it's like. Okay, so Doc, I've got it coming up in my browser here. Should I close it in Visual Studio? I know you're going to be leaving in 10 minutes, so I want to make sure we get you on this.
Yeah, and also I'm sharing on my screen as well. So yeah, basically don't engage with it at all in DCL-Edit until, like you said, a ticket is made and development is made for that. So it was F12, and I believe Dax suggested Control-Shift-I. So I'm going to close this out and just show that as well. And for Mac, that's also Command-Shift-I. And what that does, I think I just crashed my browser. Well, that's fun.
Okay. Well, I've got it up here, so you can just tell me over here on mine.
Cool.
So I hit F12, but it's Control-Shift-I. No.
No, sorry, it's F12, but I wanted to say the Command-Shift-I thing in case Mac does not work with F12. I have no idea if it does or doesn't. But yeah, it's definitely F12.
Now what?
And then you're gonna save your position.
Okay, let me move it a little bit. Let me go bump, and then.
Sorry, I'm watching the wrong screen again. I can't see your screen actually. Oh, there it is. There it is. Found it.
Okay, so bump. I'm just changing the values so it's not 20, 0, 20, and then we'll do Y down a little bit. Okay, so then I click save.
And click save, and there it is. You could copy and paste it right there.
Where? Oh,
On the
here.
right side.
Okay, so I just go.
You should be able to right click and do like copy text or something.
Copy visible style select. Oh, copy. Just copy. Control C.
Yeah, it should work.
Okay, and then I go back into Visual Studio, and then I just put it in here.
Wait, am I not following? Weird.
I'm going to clean it up a little bit.
Yeah, the formatting is going to be screwed up, but it should be
Okay.
the right code.
Okay.
Oh, there's an extra bracket. It looks like maybe.
Yeah. Hold on.
So, okay.
You're missing. You didn't copy position. Like
yeah,
position
there's a line
colon.
above it.
Thank you. You're right. There it is. So I'll just grab the whole thing. Is that Dax?
Yeah.
Thank you.
And maybe not the word existing, but you could paste it and then adjust it. You could even paste it below it and compare it.
Okay.
Dax, you got your audio working?
I did. Yeah, I just forgot that
Nice.
I put push to talk on during one of the town halls and never turned it off.
Dope. Well done, sir. I'm proud of you.
Okay. That looks right, but get rid of existing, yeah?
So
But
Scott,
you need that parenthesis though before existing.
Okay. Now I see. So go ahead, ask your question, Kanessa.
Oh, just what are you trying to do right now?
So what I'm trying to do, remember how I said there's no way if I'm using this over here, the Decentraland run, where it says run scene and it shows up in a tab here, and we use the HUD inside Visual Studio Code.
Yeah.
If I click save, there's nowhere for me to grab that inside Visual Studio. So what I'm doing instead, as soon as this loads up in here, it will say run in browser up here in the upper right hand corner of this tab.
Okay.
Okay, I click run in browser. Here it is in my browser. And then by clicking F12, that calls up this console debug window up here in the right-hand side of my browser.
Okay.
And as soon as I click save, after I've done my position, rotation, scaling, as soon as I change any of that and I click save, it outputs it here to this little console panel. So after I copy it from here, I actually just need to go from this curly bracket to this curly bracket. I'm going to copy it here, right? So I've got position new vector 3, and then it's 18.8 for X. For Y, it's negative 0.1, and then for Z, it's 20.6, and then rotation and scale, whatever, blah, blah, blah. I copy that, Control C. I come back to Visual Studio. Now here, see this curly bracket to this curly bracket?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm going to replace that with what I just copied.
Okay.
Now, as Dax said, the formatting is a little messed up, but remember, we want to make it readable for human eyes. So I'm going to come in and just add some carriage returns, enter it. So here you see I've got no squigglies under it. I've defined its position, its rotation, and its scale. So if I save this by Control S, here, it's happening down here, but you can see the output right here. It's The compiler is watching the file changes. It's doing all the things to make sure that it updates. So when I come back into my browser window, all that information has been updated.
So you have to do this every time that you make an edit using the.
That's why I was asking, isn't there an easier way? Yeah. So what you would normally have to do, Canessa, is you would just come over here and you would just punch in different numbers.
Okay.
So let's say I wanted to rotate it. I want the tree to turn a little bit. I know that the y-axis is going along the length of my tree. So here, no, this right here is my y-axis. Right. If I move up, I scale it. Okay, so you can see scale it up, it gets taller. If I go to rotation, R, and I change that to 1 degree increments, and I rotate in Y, you can see here how it's changing. So now it's at 341. Let's say when the person loads into the middle of the scene, I want them to see this side of the tree, because this is actually how I designed it for people to climb up. They jump up to this branch and then this branch, so on and so forth. So I want it to be at, let's just say 300. So I can come over into the rotation line of the code in the game.ts file. And I can, instead of doing all that copying rigmarole, I can just type in 300.
Yeah.
And then it will update. It's just, sometimes it's nice to be able to push a button and see the change rather than tab over here. Okay, 300 is not enough. Let me try 310. Save that.
Yeah.
Come back over here.
I'm just thinking, like, if you had a whole scene, with 20 trees in a forest, and you're rotating, you're resizing and everything, like having to do that for each one.
Yeah.
That's an incredible amount of time.
So
not this guy.
So you bring up a really good point, and part of that is like designing your scene, right? If you know you're going to have, let's go ahead and save that scene. If you know you're going to have 200 trees, you probably wouldn't want to position them all individually by hand. What you might want to do is you might want to arrange them in a parent-child structure. So if you need to move all 300 trees, you can just grab the master controller, the parent of that tree, the forest, and then slide those around. And then you could have a bit of what's called randomization, right? If you want to change the position, you would change the position in X and Z, right? So it would randomize where the tree is. And then you might want to rotate each tree a little bit. So you would enter a randomized rotation value for that. And you would do that through code. And then if you wanted to modify that, you could just input a different randomization seed number for the trees, and then just keep entering different values until you find something that you like. So you enter it in one place. You have to do the setup, right? But you do the command, or you're controlling it through this one value, and then you're just checking it out. You're watching it. So do you see what I'm talking about in terms of how you arrange your scene?
Yeah, I think I can see how I would do that in Blender. Before, I would just like make 5 different trees, different sizes, different rotations, and then just import them into this, and that would save, like, do the work in Blender before
Sure. Yeah,
I guess
absolutely.
like when you're looking, this white screen that you pulled up on the right, the F12 screen.
Yep.
Like, it's just a little bit overwhelming to look at that and know how do you know to grab the code that you grabbed? The existing, position new?
Yep. Okay, this is how you know. See where it says Builder HUD? You look for that line, because all this other stuff, it's a debug panel, so it is going to give you a fire hose of information. But once I move the tree and I like it, I click save. Now watch here. See how this right here, there's 2 Builder HUDs. There's this one up at the top, and then there's this one down here. When I click save again, there will be a third one, at the bottom. That's right here. This is my most current scene information.
Okay.
So then again, I want to grab from the curly bracket to the curly bracket, copy it, and then I'm going to replace from curly bracket to curly bracket here in my Visual Studio Code.
Could you just look at the coordinates or the like the I'm trying to think of what would it be if you scaled the size, like the size, you could just take that and just manually type it in, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Yes. If that's easier for you, do that.
Okay.
Dax just shared something in the chat. Dax,
Okay.
that's a dope ass idea, by the way, and some amazing code.
Yeah, this works really well actually because when you just have a lot of really small random things that you want to put in random positions, it is way too much work to try to just go back and forth from the console to the code base every time.
Mm-hmm.
It gives me ideas.
So it lets you program chance, like a percentage chance that it's gonna.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow.
So basically, what I'm doing in that in what I just shared is I'm looking at all of the tomb positions that I've placed somewhere else. Then I'm saying, okay, if there's so basically I roll a dice. That's what math random does on line 74. And if it's greater than 0.2, so math random gives you a number between 0 and 1. If it's greater than 0.02, so there's an 80% chance, then I continue. Otherwise, I just don't show a tomb in this location because maybe you don't want it to be, you don't want there to be something there every time. But you can use this math random and just kind of different percentages. It's almost like an RPG where you roll a dice and get a different result. You know, so like if you roll greater than a 0.4, then it's going to be a tomb. Otherwise, I'm going to use a different model, which is a cross. So this was to make a graveyard, kind of, make a random graveyard. Then down on line 82 and 83, this is where I set the scale in line 82, and then 83 set the rotation. So it's going to be a little bit changed for every one that you set.
Nice.
That's amazing.
Fuck yeah.
Kanessa, have you used procedural textures in Blender yet?
No.
Okay, never mind then. It's just it's a way of creating textures using mathematical variables like what Dax has here. And I thought if you had done that, then that would be a good allegory for you, but never mind. I think you get it though. I mean, that's a really good example.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dax.
Yeah. It's awesome.
Okay. I'd like to check in with Mimsy. How are you doing?
Okay, I am doing
Okay.
something. Something's happening. I got the tree. The tree exists on my little scene.
Yes.
But then I tried to add like just another random GLB by copying it and replacing the file. And that did not work.
That GLB will have to be in the models folder as well.
I put it in the models folder.
Okay.
My guess is, Mimsy, that you need to define the new GLB as a different component name. So if you look here where I've actually 13, you've got the scene where you've got the cauldron and the tree up. Could you pull that up, please?
Good.
Okay. So you have to tell the computer to do everything, Mimsy. And if you copied the code from the tree where you're constructing a new entity, you have to give that new entity a new name. So it's possible that there's something in there that just needs to be changed slightly.
Okay.
Can you share your screen, Mimsy?
Yes.
Okay. Let's see your screen.
I can pick the right thing. Okay.
There we go. Okay. So I see that it's rotating. That's pretty cool. It's also close to the edge of your boundary.
The rotating was still the cube from before. That wasn't me.
Oh, okay, okay.
Now we just have the tree.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so that red bounding box, you know, that means that it's out of the boundary of the scene that you've created. Okay. Let me make this a little bigger so I can see what's going on. Okay. So yeah, you've done the right thing. In your directory, in your models directory, is it capital P pumpkin.glb?
Yes.
Okay.
I know, because at first it wasn't, and I was like, aha, that's my problem. And then I fixed it, and then it still didn't work.
Okay.
Do I have to make all of them capital P, or does it not matter because
No, that does not matter.
what you call in the front? Okay.
Yeah, so you're adding the pumpkin and you're constructing an entity and you're calling it, you know, lowercase p pumpkin. And then when you're adding the actual component of the model, there you have to call it exactly what it is in the directory. So that looks like it's correct. Position vector 4, 0, 11. I'm just making sure that it's not like hidden inside the tree, which it shouldn't be because the tree is at 8, 0,
That's
10.
what I'm missing.
What's that?
I did not set parameters to add it.
Mimsy, can you do this? Can you click on your HUD? That's the Decentraland logo on the right. Yeah, there you go. Okay, now click the left and right arrow right above there. Yeah.
There we go.
That.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's see here. Let's look at Mimsy.
Okay.
Okay, so it looks like it's attached to something there, like it says.
Yeah. So orbit your camera. Don't move the arrow. Orbit your camera. Keep going. I know it's okay, it's there. Just we can't see it. It's probably
It might be under.
Yeah. Yep.
So if you take that Y up arrow, no, on there and just okay, so it's not loading.
Keep going.
In there.
Keep going. Keep going. We don't know. No.
It does seem
okay.
So. Hang on. So it's all right. Do this for me. No. Go run scene again. Down. So on the left hand side, the center. Yep, that one. Just run the scene real quick. Close that out. See if that appears. If it doesn't, close out Visual Studio and then relaunch it entirely and run scene again. That could work as well. Oh, there it is.
There it is!
The little pumpkin!
Let's fucking go.
We know how to put stuff in a place.
Hey.
Okay, now let's move it.
Mimsy, let me ask you, did you fuck around a bit?
I did.
Did you find out anything?
I did.
Perfect.
Let's make that a big ass pumpkin.
So change the P to one more. There you go. Let's go.
You're gonna need to scale Z up too because it's gonna be a flat, tall pumpkin. There you go.
Did you make that?
Hey.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, this is a Yannicus pumpkin.
Oh, it's cute.
I don't know how to make anything. I just save everything that he's ever sent in the chat.
So I got a tip for you. Imitation is the best way to learn. Copying is the best way to learn. So anything that Yannicus makes, I mean, you are walking among giants, right? So hang out, find everything that Yannickus makes, and then, break it and take it apart and see what you can discover about that pumpkin. Like, you are making something, Mimsy. You're making a scene right now. So you do know how to make something. You know how to make a scene.
Facts.
Sick.
But I always encourage my students to copy things, because until you have the complete optimal path on how to get something done, you're still learning little side paths in that optimal path. And trying to do all of the lift all at once, it's too much. So by copying things, it enables you to isolate certain specific areas, and you can learn about that specific area and then back up and then try a different area.
Just a caveat off that. So something that I do, being a new Blender artist, because I mean I've designed a few things that I think look really fucking cool. But one thing that I'll do is I'll go to like Sketchfab or CG Trader, and I'll just search for what it is that I want to create. And I will look at the model, see how they did the model, and imitate it, like Scott's saying, best I can, and there's a lot of little things that I've learned, and honestly, I've learned them sitting right here at my desk in fucking Discord with, like Scott was saying, these fucking giants, that are fathoms better than myself, at what I'm trying to do. And I'm learning little by little. And something that I've kind of tried to keep in mind is that everybody started somewhere. So even if my stuff's not great, necessarily like up to standards or whatever the fuck, it's up to my standards because I've never fucking done it before. And improvements can be made over time. So even if something doesn't necessarily look perfect, be proud that you made it. So and I'll be working in Blender whenever we're done with FAFO, and I'll still be FAFOing. So if you want to stick around and kind of see what I've learned, feel free.
Okay, so Mimsy, what else would you like to know?
Okay, so when you click save on the HUD, what does that do over here in the code?
Nothing. That's what took us about an hour and a half to find out today.
Okay, so that's maybe where I zoned out a little bit.
Yeah,
That might have been.
Yeah, so we did get really deep into the weeds at that point. But I think, like what Kanessa, her question, her solution. Well, Kanessa, how are you going to use this, or are you even going to use this tool, the HUD?
Yeah, I think I would but I think I would, just like you were talking about, like how you would build something, I would have to think ahead of time, like how am I going to build this scene, and probably build most of it in Blender, and then this would be for like the snafus that didn't quite work. But I think that or like if you're placing, like I don't even know what's possible, like that apple that's getting placed up there, if I wanted that to have some kind of like reaction where if I click it, it disappears and goes in my bag, I could see that being useful for this, like yeah, I mean, so there's definitely use.
But how would you get the let me be really specific with my question, Kanessa. How would you get the coordinate information that you're generating through the HUD? How would you get that back into your code? Because that's what we don't get. That's what Mimsy just pointed out.
Did I lose your audio, Scott?
Maybe you did. Can you still hear me?
Yeah, now I can. It just sounded like you were not done with your question. I don't know, like to me, I would just look at that on the HUD right in the middle where it says like entity label and right below the position. To me, it just seems easier to grab those, like just grab those numbers and then plug them into the code over on the left. as long as you already have all of your information for the asset over there. Or is it an asset or an entity?
Well, it's both actually, but when you're manipulating it, it's an entity.
Okay.
So I don't know if this helps, but it sounds so. Is that one object in like the screen? Is it one object? Going back to your original issue with the screen that you were making, which I assume is for Wondermine or something.
Yeah, that's the Wondermine screen. Yes.
Okay, I assume that. So is it one object and you're unable to?
Yes. Yeah. So I'm just going to jump ahead, and I think I know what your question is. So when it was built by Josh, the base and the little energy rings and the actual screen, that was all one GLB. That was one GLB file. And what you cannot do in SDK is go into a GLB file and control a part of a GLB file, like, say, the screen or the base or the energy rings. You can't control those separately if it's all in one GLB file. They have to be a separate GLB file brought in as an entity itself, and then you can do stuff with that.
Unless it's already animated in Blender.
Yep. But if it's animated in Blender, then it's just it's a call function, right? You're just calling up the entity, and it's going to have the animation itself. Then you can't control the animation. You can't speed it up or slow it down because it's all in that GLB package.
Okay. I think yeah. I'm kind of I'm kind of getting what the issue is. So
Is this something you're trying to do?
So in a sense, yeah, because scattered amongst the halls of Club 13 will be multiple copies of 13 just walking around doing various tasks, as a skilled mage should have multiple versions of himself to keep up with the day-to-day, so each one of those will be animated doing different tasks through various portions of each particular location. So what it's going to end up being is multiple calls for multiple GLB files to be brought in, essentially, unless I make that the whole one GLB file and they're all just kind of scattered about, but I don't know.
I just turned my stream.
I haven't gotten there yet necessarily.
Gotcha.
That's like, there's a lot of things on this piece of paper. So I'm still getting through those, and most of the beginning portions of my project and the way I'm doing is I'm getting all the graphics situated. So all the Blender work done, basically original images, nothing like I said, I'd go to Sketchfab or CG Trader or wherever the fuck else I find, and I'll look and see how somebody else has done it, and try to emulate that best I can. Because some of these files that you find anyway are way too large of something to use in Decentraland anyway, so you have to kind of scale it down anyway. So it's where I'm kind of at right now.
Cool.
13. You're gonna make a club 13?
Club 13. You want to see what it looks like so far?
Yes.
Yeah, I was gonna have a club 13, but I'm not. But last year, so I minted the crown number 13, so I thought it would be cool to have and that's the name of my poker guild. But then like they never did anything with the poker guilds. But I don't think it's been minted yet because it was
we
on
need
my
to
list.
push. We need to push for guild things to happen.
Oh my gosh!
We need to. And, well, I mean, there's a bunch. Apparently, there's a fucking dumpster fire in DG right now, so we'll see what happens. But you know.
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't know. It's an interesting couple 24 hours here.
Growing
so.
pains.
I see what everybody's like calling out. I don't know everything necessarily. I just see the headlines at this point. So I know dumpster fire to Central Games. That's what I know. And that everybody that there are people fucking raising fires and grabbing their pitchforks.
Are you saying you've seen my memes?
Yes. I mean, no.
So what are we looking at? 13.
So first, right now because I still have to code everything. I start at the top down for now. Eventually, you'll be able to go what you'll see at the end, and you'll be able to go places. So up here, we've got our top floor. There's my fucking vertical limits. But so far, this may be a little high. But this is the beginning of stage 13.
Just so you know, real quick, you can only jump half the height of a regular avatar, which is 1.5 meters.
Yes.
So you can only jump, I think, what is it, like 0.75 meters?
So for right now, I've got these little jumping platforms to get up here.
Okay, cool.
Until I finalize the top floor.
Yep.
So eventually, this screen is going to basically be a plane that is like a plasma effect. Like if you've ever seen World of Warcraft, the fucking gate that they walk through kind of thing. But it'll basically be suspended through magic in between those stone spires. And then whoever's performing will be up there.
Let me get you 13. Let me get you the CBD screen zipped up and sent to you, because that has code in there that tells you, and there's examples in the awesome repository for this too. But if you don't want it to be that curve thing from the asset library, because I think that's where you got that from.
That's exactly what it is, and I stripped it down.
Yeah, good for you, man.
Yeah, it is a placeholder. It's what I did. Yeah, exactly. I stripped it the fuck down to its bare bones. So I've got it there. I just haven't transformed it into anything else just yet.
Okay, let me send it to you.
I'd appreciate that. Fuck yeah.
Yep.
Thank you.
Okay. Yep.
Did you do the texturing on the rocks?
Yes, everything. The textures are not necessarily mine. I've found them in open source areas and have used them. But I placed the textures on the rocks. Yes.
Oh, don't grab that one. Sorry, that's the wrong one.
Okay. But all the geometry, everything in this is 100% my doing.
Cool.
Any of the colliders that are there, I did stuff like that.
Is it going to be in Worlds or in DCL Major?
Hopefully both.
Cool.
So that's
That name. Do you have that name minted?
What?
Club 13.
I mean, I have 13 minted. That's. Okay. I've only got 2 names right now. I've got 13 and Gubblebum.
Yeah.
But so that's what I've got for the top floor for now, which this portal will take you up here. So I'll drop down, do a little parkour method down. So essentially what you'll see below is what should lead you through this portal to where you're basically here. Okay. There's not God damn it. Oh, there they are. Never mind. Draw distance is just down. We're good. I've got a few assets up here. I have not done everything yet, like different rooms. I plan to have a maze here, a couple puzzles that you have to solve, as well as a little bit of parkour for those that enjoy it. And then it'll just be random fucking this is basically what this is. This is a constructed tower or a club from basically the mind of a mad mage is what and He, so the story, lore behind, 13 is that he is, well, this is a little bit of alpha lore technically. So he is a interdimensional being, interplanar traveling being. So he's a plane walker. He stems from a different dimension to where he was an actual adventurer, and stumbled upon basically our style of Prime material and realized that people play games about adventures like that. So he became a DM in another universe, Universe 13 here, is where he's basically created his own dimension. But here's my D&D table, complete with mugs and dice rolling trays. Dice are the next thing to be worked on. My DM screen, my DM screen that I will put there'll be little things here, but
did you make the table in Blender?
Yes, everything I've done has been in Blender.
Cool.
This is one GLB file, all of this.
Wow.
So far. So I'm basically trying to do as little calls to a directory as possible. So this so far is one GLB file, and we'll see how it works. But everything in here is a separate entity, or a separate, or is separated within the GLB file. So it's not all Boolean together, just certain things. So I need to fuck with the texture of this, but can't really see it, but it's supposed to be kind of that purple smoky vibe from the stage up above. But I've got my ice shards hanging above the bar because obviously the frost elemental that'll be back there likes to keep it cold. My barrel that I got textured.
I love the texturing on the. Sorry, I'm like watching two different places, so I'm like lagging behind on on the
worries.
YouTube. But the mugs on the table, and there's like a napkin or something with the cool Jupiter, Saturn planet.
Yeah, so those are rolling trays for like the dice kind of thing. And there'll be dice placed in the groove up there. And then this is basically a recessed area to where you can roll your dice in. So it's a rolling tray, both for weed and dice.
Multi-purpose.
And so then that's the portal that'll lead you to a next floor kind of thing. But then on the bottom floor, this is where you're supposed to be able to enter. So imagine being a random patron of Decentraland, and like you like cross onto this parcel without really noticing, but then you like hear this whirring like plasma energy noise, and you're like, what the fuck is that? And you look over and you're like, oh shit, here's a fucking portal, and you go through it and you're up there, kind of thing.
That's cool.
It's something like that.
So 13.
Yes.
You have to check out Isle's scene, and I'll find it. I'll find the coordinates for it. What's that?
I said, please do.
Yeah, he's got like a little hitbox, right? So if you jump up and your avatar crosses the plane of this like sphere,
yeah,
what that does is it swaps out one scene to the next. So it's that that what a lot of the other places are doing, like Vroomway.
Oh, like the innkeeper.
Yes.
Like the inn.
So you could have these things like preloaded, and then instead of going up a level, it just swaps out this portal archway here.
That was hopefully the goal, but like I've not talked to anybody that's done anything like that. So, and I've not, I mean, with that, like, I don't think that's in the repo. So like, it was going to be.
He did it for a game jam,
like figuring it out at some point off of other shit.
Yeah,
so, I mean,
I would love to
connect with somebody that really does that kind of thing, and maybe have them just show me a couple pointers and get me started.
Isle's the person you want to talk to. He's got a YouTube video, and I'm looking for it right now.
Dope.
Because that will take your scene to a whole next level.
That would be amazing. That's the vibe I wanted to go for eventually, but for now I had like there's the old game Portal.
Yeah.
There is a piece in